What's up guys, Ryan here from MudGunner, and today we are going to be talking about his and hers AR setup. And you guys are probably like, Ryan, what in God's name is going on with that? I'll explain in a minute. But yeah, so if you guys watch my channel pretty regularly, my girlfriend is on the channel here and there. She's definitely gotten a lot more into guns since she's been with me. I mean, it's kind of hard to because my entire life revolves around guns. So yeah, I don't necessarily force it on her, but you know, I've tried to help her out over the years, get her comfortable with the mindset, get her into concealed carrying. She just took her concealed carry license course this week, and yeah, she's getting more and more like open-minded to the idea of just guns in general and wanting to learn, like actually asking me, you know, hey, can you teach me this? So it's a pretty cool feeling, but it takes time. If any of you guys have your significant others into shooting, you probably know it takes time. It's not something that's just going to happen instantly. I think what's helped me is obviously I shoot pretty often. I try to shoot every week. If not every week, then it's at least a couple times a month, and she's always with me. So sometimes she won't even shoot when we're at the range. I'll ask her, be like, hey, you want to shoot this? She's like, no. So I don't force her. But yeah, just over time, she's built up her own little gun collection. She shoots, she's getting better, and you guys probably see it on the channel. And again, today we're going to be talking about her AR setup. It's something she's had for a little bit, but has not put a lot of time on. So she's not very like used to ARs in general, but she bought this with her own money. I've helped her set it up a little bit, and we'll talk about that. And then I figured I'll bring one of mine out. So this is his setup. This is my very first AR, and you'll see this is my very first AR, and this is her very first AR. And if you look at it closely, it's got the fundamentals and the bare minimums of, you know, getting started in an AR platform. Obviously the magazine's a little over the top, and so is this little anime character, but it's not hurting the gun. So if she wanted it on there, I told her, sure, go for it. But yeah, we'll talk about hers first, and then we'll talk about mine. So this is a Troy AR-15. It's just their 10-inch pistol. Troy, for a while, made really good ARs in the about a 900 to 1,000 range. We haven't carried any at our store recently, so I'm not up to date on current value of them. But yeah, these brand new were about $1,000. We carried them pretty often. We haven't carried any in about a year or so. Nothing against them, we just haven't ordered them. But yeah, this one came into our store used. Used AR market's very soft. I think she got this for about $500, which is a really good deal. Obviously, she has a hookup at a store. So yeah, she bought this with her own money, and I've slowly got her stuff for it. So when she bought it, it already had this trigger in there, which I think it's a Timney trigger. I think it's either Timney or Elfman. I'm not 100% sure. It does look like a Timney trigger. And I want to say it's about a 3.5 pound trigger pull. So a very light trigger. And then it has a dead air chemo flash hider on there. And then other than that, internally it's pretty stock. It does have a Radian charging handle. I wanted her to have that to make it easier. And I actually have a Radian safety selector that I'm going to throw in here for her. Again, if you guys watch my channel, I'm a big fan of Radian safety selectors and charging handles. They're my favorite. So yeah, I'm going to put a safety in there for her. And then it has a BCM pistol grip and then an SB Tactical SP83 brace. I gave her my advice on what she should get first. And I told her, I think you should do a pistol because not all girls are going to be comfortable right off the bat with ARs. And I don't think she'll be comfortable necessarily, but having a short AR makes it a little bit easier and more manageable for girls that are not going to be used to, you know, a 16-inch AR. So I wanted her to have something short. So yeah, that's kind of, again, where we came with this. It's a 10-inch barrel or 10.5-inch barrel. And yeah, sight-wise, it's got Magpul flip-up sights. These are just the Gen 2 polymer flip-up sights. And then I added this SIG Romeo 5 for her fairly recently. She hasn't shot with this yet. She has shot the gun with the iron sights, but she's not a fan of iron sights. She wants to get a red dot. So I got her the SIG Romeo 5 for now, and then sling-wise, it has a Magpul MS4 sling. So I think it's got the bare minimums that she would need to be a proficient shooter and to learn properly. It's also got a Magpul QD-RSA up here so that she can sling it. I'm a fan of 2-point slings. This is adjustable, so yeah, she'll be able to carry this plus her handgun, and she does have her own belt setup. You'll notice her belt setup is pretty basic. It's got 2 pistol mag pouches and then main holster, which is a Safariland holster. And she's running a Shadow Systems DR920. She also bought this with her own money, and it's got a Streamlight TLR1. So she got the gun and the light, I got her the belt. She got the gun, I got her all the accessories. So again, she's putting in the time and money to get comfortable with this, so it makes me happy as a boyfriend. And then here's my belt setup. So one thing to talk about is obviously this stuff gets very expensive when you're buying for yourself. Now when you have 2 people, obviously it's even more expensive. But I think just start off with the basics. She doesn't need, I mean, not that she doesn't need a medical pouch or AR pouches or all that stuff, but she's just not there yet. So over time, we'll build up her kit And my kit took years to build up. I'm sure it'll take years to build hers up too. So yeah, that's just where we're at. So she's got her pistol, she's got an open carry pistol and a concealed carry pistol. Now she's got an AR. And yeah, again, with the anime character, my coworker gave her this mag, because I have coworkers that are into like the anime stuff on their guns. He gave her this mag the day she bought her AR. She was excited. And she's like, hey, I have this character. Can you put him on the gun? At first, I wasn't a fan of it, but then she asked me, and I'm like, you know what is it really hurting, right? Like, this is not a home defense gun. I have other guns for that. She's not necessarily comfortable with it yet, so it's just a fun range gun at this point. That's what we have to treat it as. So I'm like, this is not going to cause any harm as a range gun, because when you're shooting, she's right-handed, she's just going to be shooting like this. So it's going to bounce around, obviously, but it's not going to cause any harm. So that's why I was okay with her having that on there. I think over time, if she does courses, she wants to do the tactical games with me at some point, either it'll break off or she just won't want it on there anymore. So yeah, that's why it's on there. Again, if you're going to get your girls into it, at least let them have fun with it. If you just are like totally strict, like no fun, it's got to be all serious, they're not going to be into it. So I want her to have fun with it and enjoy it. Honestly, it does look cool. Like, I'm not into this type of setup. Like, I've watched anime and there's some good shows out there, but yeah, that is not my type of setup. But I think it looks good in general. So yeah, that is hers. And then as far as his, again, this is my very first AR that I bought. I've decked it out over the years. It started out life as a bone stock Daniel Defense V5 LW for the lightweight barrel. When I turned 21, I SPR'd it. Now it has a 12.5-inch barrel from Daniel Defense. It's got a 10-inch rail. I basically changed almost everything on it. So it's got a Geisley SDC trigger. It's got a Radian safety selector, BCM charging handle, BCM grip. At the time, it came with a Magpul stock, so I changed it to a Daniel Defense stock when they came out with those. It's got a Viking Tactics sling, EOTech and magnifier, Surefire turbo light. Mine's set up for a silencer co-suppressor, so it's got the ASR flash hider and Magpul MBUS Pro flip-up sights. And yeah, it's a fun gun. I love it. It shoots great. And yeah, I'm really happy with what I've built this out into. And I think over time, hers will look very similar. Maybe with just less expensive parts, because she doesn't shoot as much as me. Again, I don't think this will ever be a home defense gun. I'm not saying that it couldn't. I think my goal for her at some point would be to have a sub gun setup. I just think they're really nice and pretty manageable shooting wise. Not that she couldn't shoot this as a home defense setup. She definitely could, but I'm thinking like a 9mm MP5 would be pretty cool, suppressed, and yeah, that'd be a pretty sweet setup. So yeah. You'll notice I'd say they're very similar, just on a completely different price range. So that's okay. Again, she's not going to shoot it as much as me, so it's okay for her to have the less expensive stuff. And that's why we went Sig Romeo 5. I have a few of these on a variety of guns. They are accurate. I've never had any zeroing problems with them. So, I mean, these range from 100 to 150 bucks. It's nothing crazy, guys. Again, I like the higher end optics for me, but yeah, I think that would be a good start for her. And if she gets way more serious into it, right? Like if we do multiple tactical games events, if she's running drills and stuff, then yeah, we'll upgrade her to like an aim point or a Trijicon. The reason why I would choose those over the EOTech is, again, for weight. It'll keep it lightweight and then good battery life. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about stuff like this. I know not every guy has their girlfriend or wife into guns, and you know, it is what it is at that point. Again, I don't think you can force someone into it, so it is tough. If they're not into it, I think the best thing to maybe get them into it is just to start small. So like, I have 22 guns that she shot before I really got her into some of this other stuff. 9mm guns, like 9mm sub guns are so much fun, like Suppressed MP5, Sig MPX is very soft shooting. My CZ Scorpion's pretty soft shooting, so I got her into all that stuff, or my Chris Vector is also pretty soft shooting, and then I worked her up to like an AR setup. So yeah, I don't have like the best advice on how to get your girlfriend into shooting if she's not into it. There are guys that date anti-gun girls or marry anti-gun girls. I mean, that's your choice. I couldn't do that for me, but yeah, just if anything, just make it a game with like airsoft and then work your way into this. I don't know. I had her and I playing with like fake knives, rubber knives, and we were trying to see who could stick each other first. So I just make it a game and it ends up being fun, and then now we get to go do it at the range. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Again, this is going to kind of change over time as she gets more comfortable with it. Also, suppressing wise, I do have a video where we were shooting a suppress, because this is set up for a dead air suppressor, and yeah, dead air suppressor works good on there. I don't know why this spring is like super like springy. Like when you shoot it, you don't hear it like this. Whoops. You don't like hear it from like normal use, but when you're shooting it suppressed, it sounds very springy. So I might change the buffer spring at some point to like a Geissele H2, because that would work pretty well suppressed or unsuppressed. But this is just the factory buffer spring and weight that's in there. So, I mean, it feels fine when you shoot it. Just when I was running it suppressed, it was very like springy. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for my next video.